Hey, Vinny Melkus Outdoors, put some light on the situation here, maybe. Um, Doing another fantasy fishing deal here. Get this thing squared away. So we did the Red Crest event, which actually turned out a lot better than I thought it would be. At one point, I had like 8 guys in the top 10, and then some of them fell out, and I think I had like 4 guys in the end, 4 or 5 guys in the top 10. And I wound up like 35, 35, 3,564th or whatever. So not really bad. At one point, I was at 300th. I was the 300th person with picks anyway. But it only matters at the end. So we didn't do too bad comparatively. Now, if you go to the overall in fantasy fishing, I'm in like 8,500th, something like that. I mean, not the worst thing in the world, really. But I wanted to talk about, because now we shift from FLW and all that, we're going to the Classic. But I just want to say, hey, Red Crest wasn't that bad. I actually did pretty good job picking. Some of my guys fell out that were in the top of the leaderboard. Otherwise, it would have been really good. I was really hoping to get that top 10 and win like a boat and a truck and whatnot. And it was looking like it could have happened. And then it kind of just fell apart. But that's why fantasy fishing is what it is, right? It's hard to pick these guys. So anyway, we're going to the Classic. It's in Tennessee. And I kind of looking through the group of anglers that would do good in such a fishery that they're going to. So the first thing, let's just get right to it, because I only got a few minutes to do this. So from Group A, I mean, you got some big hitters there. You got a Hackney, you got Polinick, you got Zaldane, but I mean, you got a Brandon Lester, got Seth Fider, you got a cast of characters right there. But the one guy that I'm going to go with that is fishing pretty well is Jason Christie. So I'm going to pick him. I think most people are going with Brandon Lester. He's a Tennessee native. Probably has a lot more experience on this body of water than most. But a lot of guys did him, and then it looks like the next guy down would be Hackney and then Polinick. But I'm going to go with Christie on this. I just got this feeling with him. Now we go to the Group B. This is a little bit harder. I mean, well, I guess if you take Group A, you take all those heavy hitters there, it's real hard to discern any of these guys in the Classic. It's really hard because it's one of those tournaments where people go all in and certain things. You're not fishing for points anymore. You're fishing to win the whole thing. So the dynamics are slightly different. But anyway, we go to Group B. When we're looking at this, I'm pouring through these names. And there's like a Buddy Gross from Tennessee as well. There's always those guys that have, that may have the home field knowledge. I don't know what his knowledge is, or any of these Tennessee guys are there. But the guy that stands out for me, and it looks like in this group, most people picked Gerald Swindle. For me, John Cox. The guy's just all time, and he fishes nonstop, constantly. And when he's on. Shallow water hammer. The guy... I just don't see him not being there. I don't see him not being in the mix, right? Okay, we go to Group C. You have the Keith Combs, which I don't think he'll play, but Brandon Cobb, I think that's what most people are picking here at like 38%, almost 39%. You got Scott Martin in there. I'm surprised not more people are picking him because he's going to be swinging for the fences, and he usually finds stuff. But for me, I got 2 out of the wall kind of picks that I've chosen here. And this one here is Tako Ito, the Japanese guy. A lot of these Japanese dudes, you really can't look past them because of just when times get tough, these guys catch fish. I mean, what they go through to get here to the States and what they encounter in Japan is something else. It's like a really interesting, really hard farm program they have going on over there. But anyway, a lot of the Japanese anglers are just super good. So I'm going with him. That's my outside the box kind of pick, and that's from Group C. Now my other one in D is another kind of outside the box, or what most people probably wouldn't suspect to do well in this fishery, but especially when you have if we look at here, the Tyler Rivette, the guy that's just on fire. And in fact, in this group, 40% of people are picking him. You got a Pat Schlapper, you got some other guys like that, Mark Frazier, and even Kenta Kimura. He's another Japanese angler, but I'm going to leave him alone. I'm going to go with my boy Clifford Perch, the West Coast guy. I always got to get a West Coast guy in there. So we're going Clifford Perch there. And then Group E, this is another tough one. This is a tough one for me to pick through. You got your like a Chad Pickens. You got Cody Huff and then Carl Jacobson and Shane LaHoo. So what most people are picking is this Tristan McCormick from Tennessee, and then Shane LaHoo. But well, actually, never mind. Carl Jacobson is, most people are picking him, and then Tristan McCormick and Shane LaHoo. And I am one. I guess I'm jumping on a bandwagon on this one because I went with Carl Jacobson. The guy's fishing very well. The last few events I've seen him in, he's just, when you're on that kind of rhythm, it's tough to bet against a guy like that. And he's on a rhythm. I don't know if people are picking up on it. It's kind of like that Jacobo Galeli, who is just fishing phenomenal and just kind of under the radar. Nobody's really paying attention to the guy, but every tournament I see him in, he's placing. He's up there. And then my tiebreaker, I just put 52-12. I don't even know that fishery very well. I'm just throwing that one out of my head, but I think my picks are fairly solid. Of course, in the Classic, like I said, everybody just is going all out. You're not doing it for points or anything. You're doing it for the glory. So there's always that element, because all the other tournaments, you're picking guys that are also playing to get to this point. So they're playing points, and they're not necessarily just going out there to win or swinging for the fences like you would in this tournament. So this is where you see the guys that are coming out of left field and doing great. So and not necessarily your run-of-the-mill cast of characters are always in the top 10 or the top 20 or whatever. But we are going to look, I think my roster's looking pretty solid, and we're going to see what happens. We got like a week left or so, or about a week, and then the Classic kicks off, and it'll be interesting. But so far, I'm kind of got hooked on the fantasy fishing. I know I said I wasn't going to do it because the bad, but all of a sudden, there is something to it, and you never know. Some of the prizes, like the FLW stuff, if you get all your guys in the top 10, you win like a truck and a boat. I mean, why not, right? Might as well just take a crack at it. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Peace.